Let's get right into it. Today, we're unpacking a massive tectonic shift in B2B reconnaissance. We're looking at a technical white paper from Alfacan Defense Group. They've developed this internal engine called G-Hermes, and honestly, it completely rewrites the rules of the game. If you've ever dealt with B2B lead generation, you already know the old models are totally broken. So today, we're going to see exactly how this new architecture solves the problem, using local neural networks to create a fully autonomous closed-loop system. Let's dive in. Here's the painful reality of B2B sales right now. Finding someone's email? Incredibly easy. But figuring out if that company is actually a reliable, trustworthy partner? That's the hard part. The market is absolutely obsessed with just finding contacts. But sales don't stop when you hit send, right? They get stuck on two very expensive questions. First, who exactly should we be selling to? And second, and this is the one everyone ignores until it's too late, can they actually be trusted? Here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. The B2B lead problem. 2. Enter G-Hermes. 3. Local neural architecture. 4. Counterparty reliability. 5. A head-to-head competitor comparison. And 6. The autonomous advantage.
Section 1. The B2B lead problem, or why the current market is so hopelessly fractured.
Listen, the industry right now is relying on this chaotic zoo of expensive tools. To do things right, analysts have to stitch together like 5 to 7 different platforms. For searching, enriching, checking sanctions, sending emails, CRM, it's wild. You end up paying massive fees for huge databases filled with millions of profiles you're literally never going to use. Plus, passing your proprietary data through all these external SaaS platforms, that's a huge privacy nightmare. And if you want to use AI for personalization, your costs scale linearly because you're paying for every single token. This is exactly why this whole system needs a reset. This slide perfectly illustrates the huge divide in the market. On one side, you have targeting, who to sell to. You've got a ton of tools for that. But on the other side, due diligence, can they be trusted? Things like checking for sanctions or spotting shell companies. And here, there's almost nothing. It's left as separate, super expensive services, meaning analysts are usually just Googling things manually. It's slow, it's expensive, and there is just no way it scales. Section 2. Enter G-Hermes, the autonomous scout. According to the official Alfacan white paper, G-Hermes isn't just another tool. It's an autonomous market scout. It stitches targeting and trust verification into one seamless pipeline. And the crazy part? The whole thing runs on local large language models. It reads your product description, figures out on its own who to sell to, finds companies on the open web, enriches the data, verifies contacts, and, crucially, delivers a trust verdict before anyone even thinks about hitting send. This incredibly elegant Recon pipeline is orchestrated by an engine called Falco. Check out how it flows. Step 1, it takes a natural language prompt, like fintech startups in Europe, and turns it into a concrete search plan. Step 2, open web discovery to find candidates. Step 3, on-demand enrichment, where local LLMs literally read company websites. Step 4, dynamically verifying emails. And finally, Step 5, the trust verdict. It moves completely autonomously from a simple idea to a fully vetted lead. Section 3, local neural architecture. Let's talk power and privacy. I absolutely love this point. By swapping out expensive external APIs for local models like Qwen, your operating costs just plummet. The architecture uses its own fleet of local models. So, instead of paying external providers for every single token when you generate an email, the system does the heavy lifting in-house. Your cost for market analysis drops to literally the cost of electricity. Plus, because it's a closed-loop local architecture, your strategic data never leaves your secure environment. That is the real power of local LLMs. Fact to SQL, meaning to vector. This is their golden architectural rule. Look, if the system finds a hard, verified fact, like a legal entity name or revenue numbers, it goes straight into a strict SQL database. It acts as a hard filter. But when it reads news or reviews, the softer reputation context, it converts that meaning into embeddings, or vectors, in a semantic layer they call the doctrine. So you filter by strict facts, but you write emails using rich, nuanced context. It's the perfect balance of mathematical precision and human understanding. Exactly 13. That's how many self-describing connectors G-Hermes uses to pull everything from web searches to registry data. And it does this through a really smart cost cascade. It doesn't just buy data blindly. It starts free, real-time OSINT, scraping About Us pages, and checking global registries. Only if that's not enough does it ping paid APIs. And crucially, there's zero mass scraping of platforms like LinkedIn here. It strictly uses legal provider APIs, so you never fall into gray areas with personal data.
Section 4. Counterparty reliability, the trust layer.
This is the true killer feature. The system doesn't just find a lead, it acts like a bouncer for your outreach. Every single company processed gets a machine-generated trust verdict: reliable, workable, caution, shell, or closed. If it flags a company as a shell, boom, the outreach is physically blocked. No wasted time, no reputational damage. And it always provides the reasoning and direct links to the evidence, so a human can see exactly why a counterparty passed or failed. To enforce this, they use a strict 0.7 risk threshold against the open sanctions database. Global security is priority number 1. Leads are cross-referenced with sanction lists, politically exposed persons, and negative news worldwide. If a country doesn't have open registry APIs, the local LLMs jump in, reading local news sites to gauge if the business is actually active. You will literally never accidentally email a sanctioned entity. It's a perfect example of how rigorous verification secures your entire sales pipeline. Section 5. Let's put them head-to-head with the competition. Just look at this breakdown. Traditional giants force you to rent access to their pre-bought, static databases. G-Hermes operates on demand. It scans the live web, and that data stays in your proprietary database, compounding in value forever. Also, competitors treat due diligence as an afterthought that requires separate subscriptions. Here, the trust verdict is built right in, actively gating your outreach. And by using local models instead of external LLMs, your content costs are slashed. It really highlights why this architecture is structurally superior. Section 6. Let's wrap up with the definitive autonomous advantage. Relying on third-party SaaS infrastructure isn't just draining your budget, it's forcing you to hand over your proprietary data. The old model makes you pay for millions of profiles you'll never contact and charges you rising token fees. But by deploying intelligence inside your own infrastructure, you absolutely crush those structural costs. This is the undeniable advantage of shifting to local neural networks. By operating autonomously, enforcing 100% counterparty vetting, and rejecting mass scraping, your lead database becomes a highly secure compounding asset. It is compliant by design. Because emails are verified at the SMTP level in real time, your bounce rates drop to near zero. You're no longer playing roulette with dirty, outdated lists. You are systematically building a verified, rock-solid data pipeline. I'll leave you with this thought. In a world of incredibly expensive token APIs and constant data breaches, can your business afford not to use autonomous local intelligence? As B2B sales get more complex, bridging that gap between who to sell to and who to trust is no longer optional. While competitors are manually checking sanction lists and paying for every token they generate, an autonomous local system puts you on an entirely different playing field. Thanks for exploring this explainer with me, and I'll catch you next time.